All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. 365, we making a plays. You talking the game, get you to the days. We're high in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety, topics, living the same. All presentation, sports information. In the airways, taking the nation. All sport, all plays, like working your faces. Grace at the field, so tie the laces. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. 365, we making a plays. You talking the game, get you to the days. We're high in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety, topics, living the same. All presentation, sports information. In the airways, taking the nation. All sport, all plays, like working your faces. Grace at the field, so tie the laces. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. We on top of our game. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays.
What's going on, everybody? Good morning. Good morning. This is ASAP in the morning at the All Sports, All Plays Network. We got one of the best panels there is in the sports business. Got my dude, Mike. What's going on, Mike?
What's going on? What's going on?
Man, nothing much. Hey, Mike, go ahead and tell the folks out there what you and the wife got coming to the network.
Oh man, thanks to my man Freddie, we got a show, a Family That Games coming to you. So esports channel where we'll be pretty much going in and having some good conversation and some good gameplay that y'all can watch and enjoy. We will definitely be playing. We will definitely be running as much as we possibly can within the next couple of weeks. So be looking out for it.
Yes, sir. And we got my brother up early in the morning down there in Southern California. You see the coffee in his hands. His name is Jonathan Mathis. What's going on, Jonathan?
Rise and shine, fellas. It's good to be with you guys this morning, man. Yes, it is early here in Southern California. It's 8:05 here, but you know what? I'm used to it. I always wake up early. I'm an early bird. Hey, early bird gets the worm, right?
There you go. And then I don't even know if this man ever get it because we see him at night, got energy. See him early in the morning, got energy. When does this man ever rest? Jay McLevin, what's going on, Jay?
Hey, it's good to be here, man. And like my boy DJ Snick up there, you know, we think about me and the wife think about bringing the show to ASAP Network. It's in preliminary talks. It's a role playing game, maybe a little bit off PG, but that's for another day. No, hey, for real though, hey, yeah, y'all just caught that, didn't y'all? Okay, it's okay. It's a little early in the morning, man.
I caught it.
DJ Snick's up there like, damn, do I laugh? Do I not laugh? What's appropriate? What's not appropriate? I don't know what to do, man. Hey, listen, it's all good, man. I love seeing you guys this morning. And hey, guys, today is a really awesome day. We got Duke, UNC, and that awesome rivalry going at it. And can Coach K get that elusive last win on his career? Right now, his record is 49-46 at UNC. So, Chapel Hill, man, is he gonna do it? I don't know. We'll see. It's gonna be awesome.
And then we got you know what? Every show needs somebody that's calm, cool, and collected. And when you say those three things, that's Greg, because he's always calm, he's cool, and he's collected. But he might slam his hand on that desk every once in a while. He get on his bad side. What's up, Greg? How you doing this morning?
Hey, I'm doing good, Freddie. Good morning, everybody. Yes, I hope that my team wins today in Duke. That's the big rivalry. Anytime we lose to North Carolina, I'm not happy. So hopefully.
Yeah, I know you're excited about today, Greg.
Yes, I am.
But obviously, no, we did not keep that pride taking a little break right now. But and welcome to the show, Iverson. Thank you for your support, much love, and all that great stuff as well. And to all our viewers, we encourage everybody to, I know everybody's, sometimes people are afraid to put a comment on a post or let them be seen. Sometimes they just want to watch and be undercover. And, hey, we have much love for you guys as well. We do encourage you to jump in the comments. Come at me. Come at Jay McLovin. Come at all of us. We love it when the viewers are coming at us. It makes the show even better.
Yes,
But
it
let's
does.
get into it, guys. Right now, hey, we have people. Some people think it's harder to win a Super Bowl in the NFL, and we have some believe it's harder to win an NBA championship. Mike, to you, which one is harder to win an NBA championship or NFL Super Bowl?
Oh man, I'm gonna go with the NFL Super Bowl, and here's why. Maybe I'm looking at it in a rudimentary way, but you got 7 chances to win the NBA championship, and that it's when it comes to football, it's one and done. You don't get that many chances. Your body can't take that much, but you get 7 chances to win an NBA championship. So I personally feel like the NFL Super Bowl is a lot harder.
All right, Jonathan, do you agree or are you going with the NBA?
Yeah, I have to agree with Snick on that. It's really a tough question because both leagues are very competitive, and you have your superstars in both leagues. But like he said, it's one and done in the NFL. It's win or go home. And if you have a bad day, and if that surprise team plays 10 times better than you, a smarter football, you're gonna lose the game. So it's definitely the NFL, the NBA. You get numerous opportunities. You can have a bad game and you can correct it in game 2, come out stronger.
Mhm.
You have a chance to redeem yourself throughout the course of the series, make some adjustments. NFL, you can only make second half adjustments and hope for the best. So I would have to say in the NFL, the Super Bowl is very hard to win, and it's very rare that you see teams win back to back in the NFL as well.
All right, McLevin.
Well, first of all, Mike, it's not 7 chances that you get; it's 4, because the first of 4 wins.
True.
So,
What are you talking about?
hey, I'm just saying, it's the first of 4. You don't get all 7 chances. You try to go 7 games, you really only get like 4 chances.
I get what you're saying. I
But I mean,
worded that wrong.
Mike,
I
it's
get
really,
what you're saying.
it's all perspective, right? It's all perspective. I guess in my opinion, you only get 4, but I can see where you also saying 7. I think the NBA is a little harder, man. Because listen, you got length, you got to protect yourself from injuries. I don't know, man. There's a lot of adjustments you can make. I don't know. The NFL, I mean, you got what 1, 2. Well, you got the wild card round, divisional round, and then you got conference round, and then the Super Bowl. So you got 4 games you got to play. And if you're like Green Bay, like this year, you probably only had to play like 2 games. So I don't know. I think it's easier to adjust. I think sometimes in football than it is basketball because you get a halftime in there too to make whatever adjustments from the first half to the second half. Whereas I think basketball, it's constantly changing. It's the speed of the game, everything about it is constantly changing. So I don't know, man. It's a lot of different ways. I can see your point of view from the Super Bowl. I get that. But I see the basketball point of view because it's such a long season. You have to protect all of your roster. I mean, look at right now. Look at Memphis. I mean, they lost half their roster. They're still trying to, win games. You got you got Brooklyn, who you got KD out. You got Irving who can play so many games. I mean, there's a lot of X factors that go into basketball than there are in the NFL, and you got to be able to manage all of those X factors to even get to that realm. And let me be honest. I mean, the game has kind of changed a lot since. Back when I first started watching. I mean, it really has. I mean, from where Jordan era to now the Kobe era to now the, LeBron era. I mean, the game has changed. It's a little bit more watered down in some aspects and not so much in other aspects. But I like both of them, man. Honestly, you can make a case for both.
All right, Greg.
To me, it is the Super Bowl because you have to be perfect to not only get to the Super Bowl, you have to be perfect to get there and win. As we just saw this week, Patrick Mahomes had one bad half and now he got to sit at home. It wasn't like in basketball where you have one bad half in a game 3 and you can come back in a game 4. So the NFL, winning the NFL championship is harder because you have to be good every round. You can't have an off game. You can't have an off game. So whereas in basketball, you can have an off game and still come back that next game. Unless it's a game 7 or something like that. So the NFL championship is harder. That's why you haven't really seen a lot of teams go the back to back, and since the Patriots did it in 03 and 04, it's hard because
Hey, but let me ask you this, Greg. And this is I was just thinking about this just now. I was thinking about this whole question, right? Do you think it's harder to pull off? And it's been done. We've seen it been done. Is it harder to pull off, a 4-game sweep in the NBA versus winning the Super Bowl?
It's harder to sweep a team, yeah, because that's where that pride comes in for that.
Or let me ask you a different way, Greg.
Okay.
Because I guess I really love that. What do you think is more impressive? That's where is it more impressive to get a 4-game sweep in the NBA or win the Super Bowl? Because, like you said, in the Super Bowl, you got to be perfect every single game,
yeah,
and that's a hard thing to do. It is. It's very hard to do that. But it's also equally as hard to win a 4-game sweep in the NBA. Which one do you think, in your mind, is more impressive?
They're both hard, but I would go with with winning the Super Bowl over the sweep. Only because it is hard to sweep, because the other team, they have pride too, and they don't want to lose 4 straight games to the same team. But at the same time, you can get the sweep and kind of have some off games in there, like, oh, you hit a game-winning shot in game 1, then you blew them out game 2, and then you hit a game-winning shot in game 3. So you can have some off games and still get the sweep. Whereas in the Super Bowl, you have to be on point every week to get to it and win. So, yeah, Super Bowl is hard.
I don't know, though. Hey, Joe Burrow wasn't completely on point against that Tennessee game, but he still came out and won that one, though.
Yeah, that was because he was playing Tannehill. Tannehill, that's why.
Burrow was on his back like 9 times.
Yeah,
opportunistic too, making enough plays. That's all that matters.
That's true.
If you make more plays than the other team, that'll get you there.
Mike, you wanted to add something?
Yeah. I just wanted to look at it in the aspect of so, like you said, in the NFL, when you get into the big dance, it's 4 games. So technically, you can call it a 4-game sweep as well. But when you look at the NBA and getting a 4-game sweep in the NBA, to compare and contrast a little bit, the 4 games that you're playing in NFL, you're playing 4 completely different teams. That's 4 completely different playing styles, and it's something new every week. You start to get to learn the playing style of an NBA game while playing the same team 4 times in a row. So it kind of, once you start to see the predictabilities and how their gameplay is, you start to learn what to and not to do, which, in my opinion, which is why it makes the end of the Super Bowl more impressive.
Yeah, that's definitely a great point. And there's no game 7 in the NFL. There's no game 7. So you don't have those many times to make it right. You have to win every single game, and then the physical of the game, that you have to worry about. So it's definitely much harder to win a Super Bowl than there is in the NBA, just because of the aspect of it's no game 7, it's no game 2, it's no game 3. It's either you win or you go home. The pressure is applied even higher just because of that reason.
But your point though, Freddie, you do get a week off in between games, and in the Super Bowl you get 2 weeks off.
Yeah,
how many weeks do you get off in between them game 1s to game 7s? I'm just curious.
If you lose, it's over. In the
I get it. I'm looking at it from the winning perspective.
Yeah. So I mean, you could lose in the NBA and you still have another chance. But let's keep it moving. That's just to kind of get the blood flowing, get a little heated this morning because hey, it's coming. It's coming. I promise you. All right. So I need to know who is the best owner in sports, from NBA, WNBA, baseball, whatever sports you want to say. Who is the best owner of all time? You know, I know this is a tough one, and we got to think about it. So we're gonna take a little quick commercial break, and then Mike, I want you to give me an answer. So let's take a little quick commercial break, and then we'll be right back.
Sounds good.
This is the Fox D Streaming Network. Register to come on our channel at foxdnetwork.com.
All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. 365, we're making a plays. You talking the game, get you through the days. We're high in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety, topics, living the same. All presentation, sports information. In the airways, taking the nation. All sport, all plays, like working your faces. Grace at the field, so tie the laces. All sports, all plays.
All right. We're back here at ASAP in the morning, the All Sports All Plays Network. Where you can find us on Roku, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Apple TV, Tiki Live. Make sure you go follow us on those other platforms as well, so you can get exclusive, great content from the All Sports All Plays Network. DJ, give me the best owner in sports history.
I might have to. You could probably say I'm being a little biased when I say this, but I'm gonna have to go with the Rooney family over at the Steelers, the Pittsburgh organization. This is just, yeah. Let me be careful when saying this. I am a big Steelers fan. It is very well known. I also know that Ben has been done for a while. So when it comes to the decision to keep him as long as they have, that's probably one of the that could be looked at as one of the worst decisions in the history of the franchise. But other than that, the new blood that they come in with on a seasonal basis, just all of that, it is, it's unparalleled in my opinion, and that's all I'm gonna say on that.
Before I give it to John, I'm gonna go ahead and give mine because it's not even by close. It's not close at all. This should be an anonymous decision. Who's the greatest owner of all time? God rest his soul, Dr. Jerry Buss, and it's not even close. We're talking about a guy who, when he bought the Lakers, that he did not just want to win championships. He wanted to find ways to entertain the fan. He wanted to he implemented showtime on the court, but he also wanted to give fans showtimes before the game, during halftime. So he's the reason why we have the cheerleaders in halftime, or we have entertainment during the halftime. He even thought about how to bring these crazy lights in there so we can find ways to entertain the fan. He was coming in there the first year, drafting a young Magic Johnson, winning the NBA championship. The championship this guy won, what he put, the people that he put in place to help win, and not just that, how he helped others become businessmen. You look at Irvin Magic Johnson. Who taught Magic how to be a businessman? It was Irvin Magic Johnson. You've seen the things that this is what he stood for and how he helped his organization win. He set the legacy to live on for the Lakers to become a 17-time champion organization. He is the reason why. He is the greatest owner, and it's not even close. It's not even close. Jonathan, who's the greatest owner of all time?
Man, I'm gonna be a little biased here too myself, and I'm gonna go with Dr. Jerry Buss. I mean, you know, this guy pioneered the Showtime era and changed basketball forever. So I mean, he's very high up there on my list. He's definitely the best owner. I can tell you this today: if he was still alive, the Lakers wouldn't be in the situation that they are now. They'll be a much better team, much better put together and everything. But we're not going to go there right now. We're going to talk about how great of an owner he was, because that's what he was. You know, he brought in the Laker girls. You know, his legacy will always live on. And you know, he left the team to his children, and now they're running the organization. But him and George Steinbrenner too. George Steinbrenner is another one, but I would have to put Jerry Buss before George Steinbrenner. And Jerry Buss, man, he changed that Laker organization. He turned that team into a storied franchise, one that went on this epic dynasty in the early 2000s. And you know, Dr. Jerry Buss was the architect behind all that. He hired the right people, brought in the right personnel to make that happen. Hired Jerry West to oversee the franchise, and it paid off. And his beloved Lakers made it to the final 16 times. Nearly half of his 33 seasons over the franchise. So I mean, yes, he did a good job. He groomed players like Magic Johnson, and look what Magic Johnson is doing now. He's a incredible businessman after the game of basketball, and he learned all of that from Dr. Jerry Buss, because Dr. Jerry Buss taught him about entrepreneurship, how to be a businessman. So he helped shape his career away from basketball, his second life away from basketball. So yes, it's definitely Dr. Jerry Buss. And then second, I know it's only one, but second, George Steinbrenner of the Yankees.
You know, it's crazy about Dr. Jerry Buss is his swagger. He brought a certain swagger. I'm gonna give it to Jay McLovin right after this, but I remember a story that Magic told. He said that when he came and first met Dr. Jerry Buss, he was upstairs or something like that, and he told Jeannie, said, "Hey, I'm only gonna be here till my contract is up. Then I'm going to Detroit to go play home." And Jeannie ran to go tell her dad that, and he just kind of like, you know, like most owners get scared nowadays just because they hear somebody about a player talking like that. He's like, "Don't worry, Jeannie. He ain't going nowhere. He gonna be here for a long, long time." And look what happened. So, Jay McLovin, go ahead and tell us how Jerry Jones is the greatest owner of God's green earth, and he's the best owner of all time. You're muted, sir.
No, I'm not even going to go down that path. That's not necessary. Just because I'm a Cowboys fan, I have the ability to look outside of my world at other owners, and I can make that distinction of who is the best. And in my opinion, and Dr. Jerry Buss, like I said, you have to appreciate what he's done for the game of basketball. The talent acquisition. The talent acquisition, the pennant, or should I say, the titles, the inclusion. I mean, he's hit all the benchmarks, that you would look for in an owner. But you also can't overlook George Steinbrenner. Look, I get it. I think the Lakers got 18 titles. Am I right, Freddie? And I might be wrong. Correct me on this. Is it 17?
Yeah.
Okay. I wasn't sure because I thought it was 17, and I thought the one Braun had just brought them was 18. But okay, we'll go with 17. So 17 pennants is about 10 less than 27. It's 10 less. And when you look at George Steinbrenner and what he's done for the game of baseball, it's retarded. It's ridiculous. The guy's won at every level. And when you talk about inclusion, I mean, you can look all across the Yankees organization, and you'll see inclusion everywhere you look. You can look at Derek Jeter, you can look at A-Rod and what they've done in the business world, from their organization as well. But it's very hard to distinguish who is the best between Dr. Jerry Buss and George Steinbrenner. It really honestly is. But I just think that what George has done with them and the amount of titles that they've won and the amount of player development and acquisitions, I mean, I'm going to go with George Steinbrenner, but it's very close for me because I think both organizations have done an extremely good job with from where they are.
Greg, what are we going with?
Man, those are all good picks. Those are all great owners. I'm gonna go with the Hunt family.
I knew it. They're Freddie 2.0. Freddie 2.0. I knew you couldn't do it.
No, not just because it's the Chiefs, but Lamar Hunt came up with the phrase Super Bowl. And what we celebrate today or this upcoming week, Super Bowl week, was because he thought of the name. It was just so without that, it would have been AFC versus NFC world title game or something like that. Like, it's not the same. It doesn't have the same feel as Super Bowl. And Lamar did a great job, in his time bringing the Chiefs to Kansas City from Dallas, and he was always class. He was always class, and it's continued on with his son Clark. I will say Clark is a little bit more. Clark wants to win. I think his drive to win is a little bit higher than what his dad was. Not saying that his dad didn't have it, but he was more, just worried about, making sure, the organization, was, cool and everything. But Clark wants to win. And we love the Hunt family here. They always seem like genuine, nice people. So I'm going to go with the Hunts. Lamar Hunt.
All right. So let's keep it moving, you guys. And this is going to. So yesterday we got news out of the NBA, from Philadelphia, because we've all been guessing, assuming where's Ben Simmons going to go? Is he going to be traded? All that we've all been following it all year long. And I honestly get tired of talking about Ben Simmons. But we finally got a rumor that was broken that the Philadelphia 76ers are interested in trading him to the Brooklyn Nets for James Harden. Okay? Now, we've been hearing rumors that James Harden is not happy in Brooklyn. He's not happy for the fact that the Kyrie Irving situation. I mean, who blames him for that? He's not happy, because his whole mindset to go there is for only one thing. It's to win an NBA championship. And so, and it also said in that report that Brooklyn might be interested in a trade.
Yeah.
So do you guys think Brooklyn should trade James Harden for Ben Simmons? Mike?
Let's just be honest. And talk about, the elephant in the room. Is James Harden ever happy wherever he goes? Like, is he ever going to? I mean, I understand everybody goes where they go because they want to win. That is the goal. That is the end goal of being in the NBA, in any professional sporting capacity. But when you yell, okay, I'm trying to choose my words wisely. I don't want to I don't want to step in my own toes. When you get to the point to where you've been traded as many times as he has within the past 6 years, 7 years, something like that, is it really the teams that are the problem? Is it really? Yeah, you're not happy in Brooklyn, but were you happy with the Rockets when you were there? Are you really happy playing in the NBA at this point? Like, come on now. Like, let's be honest. You know, if you were going to win somewhere, you got to have a team to win with. You can't just win it on your own. You can go with the intentions of carrying the team on your back, but if you're not actually working with the team that has been given you, you're not going to win. It's as simple as that.
Oh man, oh man, oh man. I mean, you have 2 different points on this one. Woo! I'm gonna let Jonathan Mathis go on this one.
James Harden is never happy with his situation. Everybody knows the situation in Philly. He's another Ben Simmons. Okay, Ben Simmons is not happy being in Philly. Now all of a sudden, James Harden is singing the same song. Now he wants out. This guy wants out of every team that he's played on. He's been that way in every city that he's played in. Houston, now it's in Brooklyn. Do this trade happen? I'm not sure it does, because I think Ben Simmons is going to get traded in the offseason. I don't think they're going to trade him. I don't think they're going to move him before the trade deadline. Daryl Morey really would like to move him, but it's going to be hard to complete this deal because Daryl Morey wants so much in return. He wants a ridiculous amount of draft picks and all of this stuff, and he's not going to get it. Realistically, that's not going to happen. I just don't see this trade happening. Somebody brought up the fact that the Lakers could somehow get involved in a 3-way trade to make this happen. I don't see how that's going to happen either. You would have to most likely package THT and Russell Westbrook in that trade and hope for the impossible. But I don't see that happening either. I don't think neither of these guys get moved at the trade deadline. I think they stay with their current teams.
Listen here, man. Hold on. Because you and Mike basically said the same thing, talking about us Harden. I don't blame Harden. Harden is not the problem in Brooklyn. Harden is the one that sacrificed the most in Brooklyn. He's not going out there giving us 30 points, triple doubles like he did in Houston. He just sacrificed his points to around 22, 23 points a game, and I'm going to get 8 to 9 assists a game to let Kyrie Irving be that off guard. Let him score. We're going to let Kevin Durant's going to beat Kevin Durant. Ever since James Harden has been in Brooklyn, Kyrie Irving has not been dependable. He has not been dependable, and this big three is not going to win until all the big threes on the court. Then right now, Kyrie Irving is not dependable, only for away games. There was reports that this man thinks this is just like treat this list like it's a 9-to-5 job. 9-to-5 job. Could you imagine this is a teammate of Kobe Bryant's? What he would do? He's like, no, man. He'd be like, no, bro, this don't work like that. You got to breathe, sleep, eat basketball if you want to be great. It comes to the point where, we just got to be real. Kyrie Irving is not. He's a wonderful basketball player, hell of a basketball player, but he's not right up here, man. I mean, and it's time for this to be said. Like,
I've been there for a while now.
And then we got to be honest, like, bro, he have not done what's best for this team to win. With his players,
as a Rockets fan, Harden did a good job with Houston. He stayed with them for a very long period of time. He wasn't asking out all the time. He didn't ask out until, after he'd been with them for 7, 8, 9, 10 years, whatever. So he wanted to go because he knew that the Rockets were getting ready to go to a rebuild. So he's like, why am I going to be part of a rebuild? But what I really want to continue for a champion. So you can't blame Houston on Harden. You just can't. You go to Brooklyn. He was promised at Brooklyn that he'd be playing with KD and Kyrie Irving. Now, the KD issue, you can't help injuries. It just is what it is. But with the Kyrie Irving, you can blame him because Kyrie Irving should have taken the damn shot. You wanted me to come here. You told me to come here, and you were going to play with me, and now you want to take a shot? Now I feel kind of betrayed. Now I feel kind of duped. So now I'm here. I'm stuck here, trying to make this work. So I'm not Brooklyn either. So, but here's the problem for me in this whole thing. Is what Brooklyn, this is why I think it's not going to work. Brooklyn is wanting 5 future first-round draft picks. That's ridiculous. He didn't even get that when he went to the Brooklyn Morey didn't even get that. He got 3 first for Harden. So now all of a sudden they're wanting to go from 3 to 5. Then you want me to throw in Ben Simmons, Tyrese Maxey, Drummond, and Curry. Damn. For all that for Harden? Listen, I love Harden. Don't get me wrong. He's a great, phenomenal guy. But 5 future picks outside of the players you want? Come on, man. That's a little bit out of reality. That's why I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think Morey is going to give up. I mean, he might give up the players, but he ain't giving up 5 picks.
Right. And that's why this trade ain't happening.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. When I saw that, I was just like, and y'all think that's a possibility? Not you guys. I'm saying, what I saw on the, in the internet, I was like, that's ridiculous.
All right, Greg. What was your reaction? What's your reaction to this whole discussion? Like, just go off.
Well, just like Jay said, Harden was in Houston for a very long time before he wanted out. James Harden is kind of that. He's that person where he's never happy somewhere, or it's always somebody else's fault. Because I remember a time where Harden could have got his ring when he was with the Rockets. They had Golden State out of Game 7 in Houston, and he was nowhere to be found. It was a lot of times where James Harden has been nowhere to be found in some big playoff game. But are they gonna? Is this trade gonna happen? No, because just like Jay said, why would I give you all these good players for just James Harden, who has proven that in playoff games sometimes he can not show up? No. I know they want to trade Ben Simmons and get him out of there, but they're not about to just give the Nets their whole team. Like that's just stupid. That doesn't make any sense. Now, if you were saying Ben Simmons to the Lakers or something like that, okay, trade Russ for Ben Simmons. Okay, yeah, that one makes sense, but this one, no.
Let's transition to another. Let's keep the topic going, because I believe the question is, if Brooklyn do not win an NBA championship, is it time to criticize Kevin Durant? And the reason why that I brought the topic up is because if this was LeBron, everybody's jumping down his damn thing. They're jumping down his throat, talking about, hey, I thought you was that leader. I thought you was that guy. How could you not convince Kyrie Irving to do right? How could you not keep this team together? That will be questions that's being said. That will be asked if LeBron was in KD's situation. So if they do not win, because we got to remember, Kevin Durant left Golden State so he could prove that he could be a leader of a championship team, that he can be that guy. Because the narrative was in Golden State that he had to join Steph, he had to join Clay, he had to join Draymond, he had to ride their coattail. That he was hearing those things, and he said, "Okay, I'm gonna go to a team where I'm the guy, I'm the leader, I'm the man, and prove it that I can lead a team." Whoever want to take it.
Let's look at I like what Mike said in the comments. The worst big three ever. Let's look at the big three. If you got let's look back at the Miami Heat big three. Was it Chris Bosh, LeBron, Dwayne Wade. They actually worked together. They worked well together. They gelled together. Let's look at another big three. You can even go with the Golden State. Draymond, Steph, and Clay. They work well together. They gel together. They actually go out and they make art on that court. If you got your big three and you're claimed to be a big three, let's if you're not doing anything, you can't scrutinize Kevin because he's not getting the help that he was supposed to be getting when he got to Brooklyn. Like you said, Kyrie has not really been reliable since Harden got there. Well, and Harden is pissed off about the fact that he stepped back just a little bit so that Kyrie can get that shine, but now he's being unreliable. You missing two of your big three right there. So what you're saying is Kevin's got to carry the whole team on his back.
Yeah, I mean that's exactly why I hopped in. DJ, I love you, brother. I don't know you like that, but I appreciate it. I'm all for KD slander. KD, I'm not his biggest fan. I'm not Harden's biggest fan. But at the end of the day, like what he's being asked to do right now, I feel like KD's kind of proven that he's the only one on this team that you can rely on. He's the only one. I mean, other than Blake Griffin, at least the man shows up. At least the man's there and he's present. He's not doing anything, but he's there. And that just speaks volumes to what this big three is. Steph Curry was never asked to work with people like Kyrie Irving. LeBron James worked with Kyrie Irving. And the difference is between this time is Kevin Durant can't really be as critical on Kyrie as LeBron James was because it's this political statement and it's this I'm doing it for the voiceless. And if KD says anything, it makes him look bad. So it's kind of hard for KD to be like, yo, get vaccinated because then you're going to have the anti-vaxxers at KD's throat and you're going to have the vaxxers on KD. So you're going to piss off everybody just by opening your mouth. So I feel like it's a completely different situation because back then with Kyrie and Bron, it was more of just, come on, Kyrie, like stop starting arguments. But now it's like a whole political thing to where it's completely different. And KD's kind of just got to – you even notice the whole Nets organization just kind of owns it because they're too afraid to try to force this man to do anything.
Yeah, I agree, man. Listen, I'm not blaming KD if Brooklyn don't win a championship. I'm going straight to Kyrie because Kyrie didn't foster an environment conducive to winning.
Yeah, I'd say it's Kyrie then James. And then
I mean, you have to put the blame on Kyrie's shoulders. Look, if you can't develop chemistry if you're not there to play all the time, and you can't develop chemistry if you're putting wedges in between you and Harden, and you just can't win like that. You have to all be on the same page
for sure.
Yeah, that's asinine to sit there and blame Kevin Durant just because he is deemed your leader. That's foolishness. This falls in the lap of Kyrie Irving. I mean, at one point you were committed to playing basketball. Then all of a sudden you take days off. You can't do that. You can't win on a consistent level, showing up some days and then other days, I'm not going to play the game. I mean, you got to make up your mind. You're either in it 100%, you're going to give it your 100%, or you're not going to play at all. And we talked about this before. Greg and I talked about this before. With Kyrie Irving. Kyrie Irving is the problem here. That's why this big three has not worked. And like Jay said, he hasn't fostered, that in that environment, and hasn't made it work. So how can you develop chemistry? How can you come together as a team? And how would you be able to put it all together and gel together as a team when you have one guy that's not going the same direction as the other two guys?
And not to get off topic, but I know I just missed the last one. For the James Harden trade,
Mike, we can barely hear you, bro. So with your mic, I don't know what it is.
My bad, bro. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
My bad. So my big thing about the James Harden trade, I feel like you got to flip Kyrie too, because you can't have
Yeah.
Ben Simmons coming into that situation and
Yeah.
then Kyrie Irving saying, well, now I'm the big guy who has the ball. Because with James Harden, it was like, all right, well, that's an MVP. It's James Harden. He's proven, he's older than me, yada, yada, yada. He ain't gonna take a step back because of Ben Simmons, and Ben Simmons ain't gonna take a step back because of Kyrie. So you have to look at it. You have to understand Simmons and Kyrie are going to be running two different offenses, whether you're home or away. And home and away games are going to be two completely different teams. And that's again, bad chemistry. So if you're going to get rid of James, you got to get rid of Kyrie at the same time. And I feel like that's where, I mean, if we're being completely honest, and I think it was DJ, I forget who it was, Simmons and Maxey for Philly's perspective, really all you're giving up is Maxey because Simmons doesn't play. And I think, you're really just getting Simmons, or you're really just getting Maxey for James Harden. So that's where, to me, it's a solid trade. But with Kyrie Irving, I don't know what you would get for Kyrie. So I might not even blow it up just because you don't know what you're going to get offered. If you're going to get offered some bullshit, I'm not doing it. And I'd rather wait it out to see what happens. Because if there's a bubble in the playoffs, then there's a bubble in the playoffs, and then they're going to win a chip. That's just what it is at the end of the day. But I think if you're not going to get something for Kyrie that's kind of equivalent to what you're going to get for James, I just wouldn't make a move at all.
But I think if I'm KD or if I'm even the ownership of the team, I'm going to go to KD and Harden and be like, hey, look, guys, I think we can make this work just with you guys. All we really got to do is trade Kyrie and go get us a good point guard to run the offense, put you guys in position, and we can still make a run at this. And I think I'm going to try to flip Kyrie and keep Harden.
I don't think they need a point guard. If I was Brooklyn, I would.
Yeah, that's true because honestly, Harden plays the point. Harden can't even run the point.
What I'm saying is, I would flip Kyrie to get a big, maybe another big.
That's true.
Maybe like another solid two, because you still have Joe Harris whenever he comes back from his second surgery. Hopefully, you can get him back. But you still have KD that's going to cover you as the wing. And Harden, he can run points. So really, Brooklyn.
So what about a Kyrie for Sabonis? Because Sabonis is out there.
They don't want that.
You don't think so?
I know from what I'm hearing, Indiana wants to get a lot younger, and they just want draft capital. They don't want some guy in his 30s who isn't even going to be there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you got to think about Indiana do have Karis LeVert. They do have what's the other point guard they got? I can't think of his name right now.
Duarte.
What did you say, Mike?
Chris Duarte.
Yeah, they got him, but they got the other guy too. Oh man, his name
was that Dinwiddie that they had?
No, not Dinwiddie. They got he used to play for Milwaukee.
Brogdon.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, I wasn't even thinking of him.
Yeah, so they got plenty of guards down there. Obviously we heard that Phoenix is targeting Sabonis. It'll be interesting what you guys are going to give up.
Hell yeah! You like that, Freddie? Hell yeah!
Man, hey, I'm gonna tell you right now, if Sabonis goes to Phoenix, that's a wrap. I'm just gonna put it right there. It's a wrap. Y'all can just go ahead and you might as well just give the
It depends on who they have to lose. I mean,
well, that's true. It depends on who they have to lose. You know,
if they got to lose Bridges, I wouldn't do that trade.
I'd give up draft capital though. I'd give up picks. That's what they want is picks.
I think they could get away with, and this is me being unbiased. I think they can get away with like Cam Johnson and a bunch of picks because Cam Johnson's a dog. The kid's like 22.
Yeah, that's true. He's young and you get a draft pick.
I like Cam Johnson. That dude can score as well, man. That dude
definitely. But if I'm trying to win right now, I'll take a bonus.
He can put up some points.
Yeah, but I definitely would not trade Bridges, man, because Bridges, bro, that's your 3-and-D guy. That's your guy that's going to guard the Steph Curry. That's your guy that's going to guard the opposing team's best.
But Sabonis gives them height. He gives them.
He's your bread and butter, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, Bridges. Yeah.
So let's transition. So I'm gonna want to make my argument a little bit more clarity. Reason why I brought Kevin, because I don't think you guys understand why I mentioned criticizing Kevin Durant.
Kevin hater, dog.
I want to mention it because if LeBron was in this situation, they would criticize him as a leader. They would say, "Why can't you get Kyrie to cooperate?" Those would be the things that they would be saying. So,
can I ask you this?
Well, it's different. But it's different, Freddie, because just like Mike was saying, it is now a political statement for Kyrie to be, oh, I'm against the shot and da 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 da. So now if KD does say something, now you're gonna have the anti-vaxxers and they're gonna troll and do whatever they do and all that. And KD doesn't want to be a part of that, and I don't blame him. I
understand that, Greg, but damn that it comes to a point where we got to do what's best for the team.
Right, but Freddie, I will say this though: not a single soul is blaming LeBron right now for how Russ is playing. They're all blaming Russ. So I think
Russ is playing.
To Greg's point, listen, it ain't easy to be a leader. It ain't easy. It ain't easy. Hey, and sometimes you got to take that L to be a true leader. To be a true leader, you got to be able to stand up and say what you need to say if it's the right thing to say, right? And it will come with some pushback. But, every great leader goes through pushback. It just happens. It's part of the job.
Yeah, that's true. But they're blaming Russ, too, because of the narrative that's painted on him. You think about
that whole Russell thing. Damn.
He's a player. He's a ball hog. You hear all these things about Russell Westbrook, and that's why he gets the criticism that he does.
But we're talking about two different things, you guys. I mean, Russ, one thing is he's available. He's always going to play. He's going to give you 120% of energy. We're talking about a guy that's rumors that Kyrie Irving treats basketball as a 9-to-5 job.
The only knock on Russell Westbrook is he's just not a good fit for the Lakers organization. And honestly, LeBron James has to take ownership for that call. He just has, and that's part of being a leader too, is knowing when you made a mistake, taking ownership or accountability and then driving the bus from there.
Right, but Jay, that was my point though, is like it's more of, I'm not trying to bring up Russ if it's not warranted, but for the same situation to say that, we were critical of LeBron with Kyrie, and I feel like we're not seeing that again. We're more putting it on Russ, early on in the season. No one once said, LeBron, this is your fault for not changing Russ. We understood that's Russ the same way this is Kyrie, and no one's going to change Kyrie but Kyrie.
Well, I believe that narrative will come once the season's over, because right now the narrative is, okay, let's see him out of the playoffs. So after the playoffs, they lose, then I believe LeBron will get criticized. I mean, he got criticized last year.
He'll get criticized for bringing him in, but not for not changing him.
I mean, let's be honest. If Harden can go from being MVP in Houston and what he was with the role he had in Houston to changing his whole roll up for Westbrook and then changing his roll up again for Brooklyn, why can't Russell Westbrook do the same thing? And he should do the same thing if he wants to be, a part of that team and be a part of the winning culture.
Jay, you know what the difference is? The difference is Harden is a better shooter than Westbrook.
Yeah. Oh, I know, but then that's what I'm saying. So maybe Russell Westbrook should shoot less and distribute and facilitate more. Chris Paul does it. Paul takes a huge step back to make other people on his team better. And you can see where Phoenix is at.
But that's not Westbrook's style of play, though.
Well, really, Westbrook.
And I get that. And again, that's where it falls on LeBron for bringing a guy in who doesn't fit your organization.
Right.
And that's where it falls on LeBron.
Because basically, you have a clone of LeBron James on the floor.
Really? Well, we never go that far, John. We never go that far.
Hey, I didn't say that, by the way. Hey, I'm on credit. I didn't say that one. You know what I'm saying?
Hey,
I'm going to say Patrick Mahomes is an elite, but I didn't say that one.
I mean what I say by that. It's
true. Really, Russ is really, he's not really a point guard, okay? He's more of a two guard who can't shoot, but he can also facilitate. But that's why he's really at that point guard, because he really can't shoot. But there'll be times where he can light it up. He's very streaky. Like, you can be some days like, damn, Russ, okay, this is the Russ we need, and I will give him his credit. These last 2 to 3 weeks, he has been balling. He has changed his game some.
But you need consistency.
He's a different player than he was when he started this year.
Hey, but Freddie, you know that if you win a championship, you're going to have to change the way you play sometimes. I'm sorry, you just have to. You either change to fit the system, or you ask for a trade and go someplace else where you feel like you're better off.
To give Russell Westbrook his credit, he has changed his game since the beginning of the season. He's still
averaging 4.1 turnovers, though.
He's not turning the ball. He's not turning the ball over as much as he was. He's not shooting as these crazy shots as he was. He's attacking the paint a lot more as well. So he to give him his credit, he's changed his game since the beginning of the season.
So let me ask you this, Freddie. If do you consider a missed shot a turnover when you're not scoring points? I mean, it's not an official turnover, right? Or it's not an official stat. But every time you don't score, you're basically turning the ball over. So how many times does Russell Westbrook shoot the ball and not score and turn the ball over to the other team? How many times is he doing that?
Jay, just like I said, he's gotten better at taking. He was taking a lot of crazy shots. He's not taking as many as he used to. That's why I say we got to give him some credit because he is finding a way to be more effective on this team. Because
if I'm the Lakers, I'm gonna look at Westbrook and be like, "Hey, Westbrook, we've done the analytics on you. We've done all the analytics where you shoot the ball the best, and here's where we see that you shoot the ball the best. And this is what we need for the Lakers to be consistent on these specific shots. This is your bread and butter. You shoot these shots, and if you don't see these shots, then pass the ball and give it to somebody else."
But the thing is, Jay. What's going to make it easier for us now is because you've seen how Anthony Davis has been playing as of late. He's knocked down some mid-range. He's done that. But most of his points have been on the inside. So that's going to make it a lot easier. So now it's going to be like when he had Steven Adams, where now I'm finally seeing this play work where I've been wondering all year, like, when are we going to see this, Russ drive down the lane, right under the goal, he passed it, AD dunk. I haven't really seen that at the beginning of the year when AD was playing, but now I'm seeing it. The other night they did it perfectly. So if they get that built in, LeBron do what he's doing. Then Russ is he's bagging down what he did from the beginning of the year, and it's a good thing to see. But let's move to the next topic because that was not a part of the topic.
Wait, Freddie didn't like that rabbit hole.
No, I didn't. Okay, so. We'll go down to Phoenix. There's been a lot of talk as of late about, Chris Paul and Devin Booker.
Mm-hmm.
Who's more important to that team?
Chris Paul.
Chris Paul or D Book? Mike, you want to go first?
Chris Paul. Yeah, it's not even close. That's a no-brainer.
Yeah, I think it's something to where you've seen what Devin was like with that team for years, and that's no shot at D Book because I've loved D Book ever since the Kentucky days. I grew up. D Book is honestly the first guy, where we were close in age, and I understood that, and me and him are, like I just feel more attached than I do with him and Derrick Rose. Derrick Rose was like a big brother, but I grew up with Devin Booker, so like that's my guy, and I love Devin Booker. That's that's always going to be someone I always will admire his game and who he is, but I'm not going to sit here and act like shit was pretty when he was in Phoenix by himself. And that's no fault to his own. He didn't have a good supporting cast. He didn't have Monty Williams. He didn't have a lot going on. But the second CP3 got there, it was a culture changer. And I think that's just undefined. And that's unquestionable because without CP3, Cameron Payne being your starting point guard, that ship's not going, bro. I don't care who you throw around D-Book. That ship's not going. CP3 is everything to them.
And that's the thing, though, Mike. What CP3 brings to that team, you can't measure on a stat line. You can't measure the intangibles that he brings to the team that's not on a stat line. For example, player development, experience, the things that how he facilitates the ball. Like you said, the culture change, the ability to be the on-the-floor coach. The things that he brings to that team aren't always measured on the stat line. I mean, he gives up a lot of shots that he could score on to get other people involved.
Right. There's a lot of guys like that too. Like, and this is a very lesser degree compared to Chris Paul, but a lot of Bulls fans hate that Lonzo Ball only averages 10 points, 12 points a game. But I'm trying to tell them, it's the CP3 effect of, the stats aren't going to show you every single thing this man does.
Exactly.
But you have 5 steals.
But but that's the thing, Mike. As a culture, as a basketball culture, we only really look at the numbers. We don't look at everything outside the numbers. And I hate that because sometimes, the things that aren't in the numbers are the things that make you really, truly great.
Yeah, without a doubt.
Yeah, it's definitely Chris Paul because we saw what happened when Chris Paul vanished for those couple games in the finals. that's where the
More like all the games, Greg.
yeah,
All
oh,
the
yeah,
games.
yeah. After the first two, we then saw what happened. They ended up, losing, and CP3, he's just that leader.
Right.
And it was games in the playoffs last year where Book had some off games. He was 5 for 20 or 7 for 18 or something, and Chris Paul had to step in and be that guy. I remember the game 6 last year against the Clippers. Chris Paul had 40. I mean, so CP3 is the engine that drives the Phoenix Suns. If they do end up winning the chip this year, it's going to be because of CP3. Now Book will definitely he's definitely number 2, on that team, but you can't when the car can't run if it don't have an engine.
That's a good point. Hey,
Hey,
and CP3 is a hell of an engine too, man. You see what he did with OKC? That's a hell of an engine.
yeah, he took over
that.
to the playoffs. Yeah,
That's like a damn Ferrari engine and a damn like Pinto body.
yeah.
I totally agree. I totally agree with everybody on this panel. The Suns have evolved ever since he got there. They became this championship contending team. They went from a borderline playoff team to a championship contender when he got there, and he brought the experience. He transformed the culture. And not only that, he's also a teacher on the floor. And everyone else around him are his students, and they elevated their level of play once he got there. So it's definitely Chris Paul. And I think Devin Booker has learned from Chris Paul, because Chris Paul is that tool. It has all the tools to give to the other players that's around him. And that's what makes him such an exceptional player. And that's why the Suns are in the position they are in now. The Suns can't contend again this year because of Chris Paul. And if they do win a championship, it's because of Chris Paul, because he's the driving force of that team. And we saw what he did last year. He powered that team to the championship. Of course, they fell short in the NBA Finals, but that's because of what Giannis was doing over there for the Milwaukee Bucks. But you can't take anything away from Chris Paul. Chris Paul is an exceptional guard. He's a true floor general, and he has been amazing ever since he got to Phoenix.
But yet, John, with all the things that you just said about him and all the things that we've all said about him and what he means to the Phoenix Suns, who have the best record in the league, the culture change, all of it, right? Somehow or another, he's still not mentioned in the MVP conversation. I don't understand that.
I don't understand that either. And a lot of it probably has to do with it never ends well for him. It never bodes well. When the going gets tough, he seems to fold under pressure. I don't want to always say it's totally his fault. We saw he didn't have the talent with the Clippers. Yes, he had Blake Griffin, Lob City, and all that, but that wasn't enough. And then in Phoenix, he tried to rally his troops, sure, but you didn't have enough from Devin Booker. You need another superstar to step up and be big in that moment as well. And Chris Paul was carrying a heavy load on his shoulder. So I think that kind of is why he's not ever in the MVP conversation. I think it's blasphemy, though. I think
it really is, because what if Seth Curry doesn't get Golden State into the finals? What if Joel Embiid doesn't get them into the finals? Let's be honest. Right now, Joel Embiid is a quote-unquote favorite to get the MVP. But yeah, does he have all the intangibles outside of his scoring ability? Does he have the intangibles of a Chris Paul? I don't think he does.
No, let's not forget that the MVP award is for the regular season. It's not for the playoffs.
No, I get it. It's for the regular season. And look where the Suns are in the regular season. They're freaking killing it. It's because of Chris Paul.
Yes,
Right.
I agree, which we agree. But when you look at a Joel Embiid, what he's doing, carrying that team, that 76er team on his back, averaging like 29 and whatever. Like the dude is going.
But if he developed that team, though, Freddie, if he had the other intangibles that Chris Paul had, he wouldn't have to carry that team on a nightly basis.
But
that
you got to realize
already had that culture. It already had.
I think what Freddie's point is, though, Jay, is that you're supposed to have Ben Simmons out there doing exactly that. What Chris Paul is supposed to be doing, and Joel's still top 5 in the East, and it's not easy. Like, let's be real here. You got the Bucks, the Bulls, you got the Heat, you got all these. Even the Cavs are showing everybody that they can hoop. You got the
right, but let me ask you this though. But Joel Embiid, if one of the characteristics is leadership, right, that we talked about, being able to lead your team and develop your team, why can't Joel Embiid go talk to Big Ben and be like, "Hey, bro, this is what I need from you. We can include you. We can get you." Why can't if he was able to get Big Ben back on the court and do Ben Simmons like things?
I don't think nobody can.
Yeah, you know what? That guy really is a boss.
You said it earlier. Sometimes a leader has to take that bullet, and the bullet was that we're better off without Ben than with Ben, because right now they're showing they don't need Ben Simmons, and that Ben Simmons needs them, and that's the reality of the situation. I think the comparison of why can't Joel Embiid do what Chris Paul does is very different, is because, well, he's a center and Joel Embiid is not playing the point guard position. So I think that's why you see the two intangibles. I don't see Chris Paul's little ass getting rebounds. That's just the reality of the situation. I love Chris, but we can't compare the positions because they're two different lifestyles.
But don't you think that Chris Paul kind of got robbed of the MVP conversation based on what you're saying when he was with OKC, a team that's supposed to be on rebuild mode? He's got them in the playoffs.
I agree that
he's got robbed so many times. It's just stupid. And he's still the same CP3 as back then.
Yeah, he should definitely be in the conversation. I understand where he's got robbed to be in that conversation. I don't think he's been robbed to win the award. I still give it to Ja Morant. I still give it to Joel Embiid. And even Giannis, who everyone's completely ignoring even exists, just because it's becoming so regular for Giannis to be doing what he's doing. People are just forgetting what these guys are doing. Even Bron, I don't care where you have the seating. What Bron's doing right now statistically is better than what CP3 is doing as a floor facilitator. So you have to look at it like that and understand, yes, I think you belong in the conversation, but I'm not going to say you deserve the award.
Yeah, I mean, just like Mike said, this man's a center doing this. We haven't seen this type of style. I mean, we seen it last year with Jokic, but you know what? The big man I believe, is coming back to the NBA. I mean, this could be back to back years when we can have a big man win the MVP. I want to know when was I bet you. I want to find out when was the last time that happened, because I know it haven't happened in a long time. Because I mean, the NBA has got guard friendly. It's all about guards, all about wings, and we don't forgot about these centers. I
think it's just because the guards are sometimes a little bit more in the pick.
It was Jokic though. It was fairly recent. Jokic won.
Yeah. No. I'm gonna know.
The crazy thing about it, Jokic numbers this year are better than his numbers last year when he got the award.
And then before that though, it was Shaq, I think in 2000.
Yeah, Mike, I want to know when was the last time back-to-back years? Because we're in that possibility where we can have back-to-back years where centers have won the MVP. And that right there speaks of how the game evolves yearly. It keeps evolving to something differently. Because even before last year, Jokic, we was talking about like, okay, when will be the next big man since Shaq? Well, Joker came in to do that, and hell, he's having another MVP season. You can't forget him because he's literally carrying that Denver Nuggets team on his back right now. Like without a Jamal Murray, without a Michael Porter Jr., like he's literally carrying that team on his back, and they're still finding ways to win games. And no knock on Chris Paul, much love to Chris Paul. But he do have a Devin Booker, he do have a Bridges, he do have an Aiden, he do have a squad around him. It's not like he's going out there turning a bunch of nobodies and have them at the top of the West when Embiid and Joker's doing that. And like Mike said, you do have to give love to Ja Morant. He's a young cat out there he's the only star on his team, and he has his team with the top 3 team in the West.
And let's not forget DeMar DeRozan, baby. We still first in the East. Come on, don't disrespect my boy like that.
So, I mean, that's where we at. We have the Super Bowl coming up, next week. I want to kind of change the subject. What do you guys think of the halftime performance? I believe you have Snoop Dogg, you have Mary J. Blige, Eminem, and you have somebody else. I forgot who the other person was, but
Dr. Dre.
Dr. Dre. What do you guys think of the halftime performance? Should we expect something big? Is it something where we don't need to get up out of our seat to watch, or what are you guys expecting?
Hell yeah. You got Mary J. Blige. You got Dr. Dre. You got that West Coast vibe, baby. It's gonna be on and popping for that halftime show. I'm definitely not leaving. I'm gonna be watching because I know they're gonna have us on our feet, man. We're gonna be bobbing our heads to some hip hop. It's about time. It's been long overdue. We need that hip hop vibe at the Super Bowl. We're finally getting it, man. I can't wait to hear Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg, and
Eminem
and Mary J. put on a show for us. It's gonna be awesome.
So I can't remember. Was it last year or 2 years ago that had the weekend?
It was some bullshit.
Last year was some weekend,
that was the worst Super Bowl halftime show performance that I have ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
Like, for them to go from that to some heavy hitters the way they did in a year span, like that is amazing. But like that
I think
I'm gonna be honest.
DJ, I think that's why though. Like there was
right. And
they were like,
here's my
bro, you better fix that shit.
And here's my thing. When I was younger, it was all about, because before I got real big in watching actual football, the halftime show, the commercials, that was my Super Bowl. Like the halftime show and the commercials that's what I was looking forward to. And as a tradition, that's sort of my thing, when I'm watching the game. Now it's more so, the game itself, but I'm still looking forward to them Super Bowl commercials. I'm still looking forward to that halftime show. It's always the nostalgic feeling I get when that comes. Last year was the first time that I turned the TV off during the halftime show. Like I started watching it and I was like, okay, what is going on here? Like, because he had the guys with the face wrapped up and all this. Yeah, why? Like, you're advertising a nose job you just got. Congratulations, you fixed your face. No one cares. Like, no. But I'm glad that they're going to some more heavy hitters this year. It changes it definitely will clean out the taste of what they gave us last year.
Yeah, and I'm glad that the NFL finally realized that you can have people, hip hop artists, back on your halftime show. I mean, I know they had to play it safe after the whole Janet thing, but look, that's way back. That's 2003. Y'all need to let that go. And
I enjoyed it.
Oh, the breast.
Well, everybody enjoyed that.
The breast malfunction. Yeah.
Everybody liked that one. Yeah, but I'm glad that the NFL finally realized that. Look, we played it safe for 15, 16 years. Let's get these hip hop artists that people like, have them for the halftime, and get the halftime show back to what it was before the whole Janet Jackson thing. Right. So I commend the NFL. The NFL finally got something right. Yay. So I mean, celebrate that. They finally got that right. And I hope it continues from here on. I hope to see more recent, hip hop artists. Maybe next year will be Drake and Cardi B or whoever. It doesn't matter. Like, let's get, let's make it to where it is actually lit halftime show.
Right. And it's gonna be lit. It's
gonna be lit this time. Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, you know what I want to see? I really want to see this. I want them to open up a stadium where I can see Snoop pulling up in that car just dun, dun. Hey, I want to see that, bro.
You don't know. He might.
Yeah, he might do it.
Because Snoop is happy. He's down there in LA. let my dude come in there a little buzz. I mean, it's Snoop Dogg. I mean, we want to see that, bro. That's who he is. Like, that's who Snoop is.
Sipping
That's
on
how we
gin
wanna
and juice,
remember Snoop.
lay back.
Yeah.
I would not be surprised if he rolls in if while on stage he lights up. I would not be surprised at all. Like that is Snoop.
I mean,
all day.
it's legal in California too.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's
Exactly.
legal, yeah.
Hey, years ago, someone made a grand entrance coming from a helicopter.
Yeah,
I want to see Snoop in that low
Yeah, I
rider.
can't remember who that
That
was.
bad boy back, and he pulled it up like that. That's what I want to see.
Well, can we get a good country artist? Can we get a Garth Brooks in there?
I think one day.
Hey, I got a better one for you. Can we get Garth Brooks driving the lowrider with Snoop Dogg lighting it up, doing his thing? Can we get some of that?
Oh, that'd be that. Hey, I'll be down.
Or better yet, Kid Rock and Snoop Dogg coming in. That would be the bomb.
Oh, I'd be down for that too.
Yeah.
That'd be epic.
I think
Hey,
Kid
that
Rock
would
and
be a
Snoop
good
Dogg
one.
honestly would be a really good combination.
Just don't invite the Black Eyed Peas back, please.
Man, Mike, did you want to talk with us?
I think Eminem is on this card this year, isn't he?
Yeah,
Yeah.
And that's where I was coming in with it. Was like, for me growing up, like, I don't know. I always felt like I was always listening to, I guess it's old school, but it's not because I'm just young. But it's something to where I was always listening to Pac and Biggie and M and Dre, and all those, and Nas and Bone Thugs and Harmony and all those guys. And
Bone Thugs and Harmony.
Yeah.
Now, you know what?
Yeah.
I would pay to see Bone Thugs and Harmony at the Super Bowl. I missed that. Wake up. You know you gotta get up.
that was my thing.
Hey, that was my alarm because that was the best wake up song ever. Because you don't want to get up in the morning, but you hear some Bone Thugs getting you up. It's like this ain't too bad.
And those
Right.
guys are from Cleveland, but they had that West Coast vibe.
Right.
Yeah, they did.
Maybe because they were signed with Eazy-E too.
Nah, definitely. I think that was a big part of it. But like for me, I felt like I never grew up like listening to I listened to it, but like now I listen to Polo, I listen to Von, I listen to all Dirk and all those guys from Chicago that I love. But that's just because I'm from Chicago, like being real. Like that's just who I was molded to be. But growing up, like I loved the 90s shit. And I felt like it's unmatched. There's nothing that's better than 90s rap.
You're right.
And I
Hey,
feel like
there was nothing better than the Ghetto Boys. I freaking miss the Ghetto Boys.
My mind.
Hey, I miss the Dirty South. Can I get some Dirty South up in
we
this?
got some ghetto boys over here that I think we could put you on with, Jamie.
Hey, can I get some DJ Screw? Damn, that was some good stuff too back in the day. Listen, he can chop it up with the best of them. Y'all don't understand. Houston has a really good scene, man. I'm telling you. Back in the day,
Hey, Mike.
we were rocking and popping.
Hey, Mike, I got a question for you real quick. My wife is from Chicago as well. She wants to know what part of Chicago you from.
Albany Park, my brother.
Albany Park, babe. Oh, okay. Okay. She said, "Oh, okay." From Southside. Where are you from? Gardens. She's from the Gardens.
Oh, get out of here.
Yeah.
Get out of here. Oh, that's dope.
You know, hey, I will say this. Hey, there is nothing better than going from one side of Chicago to the other side. I swear it takes 2 hours just to make that trip. It's ridiculous.
Chicago has the worst traffic in.
All right, you guys.
Oh, LA has terrible.
Oh, yeah, I see my face now. Oh, yeah.
All right, you guys, man. This was a wonderful show of ASAP in the morning, man. It really was. Want to thank DJ Mike for coming on this morning to dropping his knowledge. Want to thank Jonathan down there in Southern California. Wake up early in the morning, drinking a cup of coffee. Want to thank him for coming. Want to thank our dude down there in Chicago, Mike Hughes, for hopping on and dropping off his Chicago vibes. And we want to thank, really do, our Dallas Cowboy, our Dallas Maverick fan, and Jay McLovin. Thank you, Jay. We appreciate you.
I appreciate it. Don't forget, Tim Duncan was the last one to win the back-to-back, I believe it was. It was 01 to 02 and 02 to 03. Tim Duncan, the mighty Spur.
Well, that's been quite some time. We'll see if we can have history remake itself this year. And then want to thank our dude down there in Kansas City, the dude that, he's kind of sad right now. But you know what? Every time he think of, he want to slam that desk. Just got how he feel. This, like I said, this is the All Sports All Plays Network, ASAP in the morning. Make sure you tune in. So in the morning, you see Mike down there with him, Coach, Charles, Randy, Touchdown Crew, to go over the breakdown the Super Bowl, give their predictions and all that great stuff. We're out. Hey, until then, we're out of here.
All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. 365, we making a plays. You talking the game, get you to the days. We're high in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety, topics, living the same. All presentation, sports information. In the airways, taking the nation. All sport, all plays, they working your faces. Grace at the field, so tie the laces. All sports, all plays.